Good day and welcome. Today we are going to play through Bootcamp number 2. I am assuming that you have watched the Bootcamp 1 and Bootcamp 2 videos, and we will start to learn all about helicopter operations. Let's try. Let's load her up and see how it goes. Hopefully better than my Bootcamp 2 scenario where I did not do exceptionally well. As usual, we will play against the computer with Fog of War, because that makes it far more interesting to know where he is. The same default optional rules. And we're going to press OK. Again, with the bootcamp scenarios, it is important that you read through the briefings and you follow along and finish the missions that are being pointed out to you as you play the game. If you do so, you should get a victory at the end of it. If you don't, you won't. Alright, let's read this. This bootcamp assumes that you have read through the manual and played through Bootcamp 1 and 2. And I understand that most people will not read the manual. That's okay. That's why I'm putting up these videos to help you out. But it does help if you played 1 and 2, or at least watch 1 and 2 to see, because I will skip things over that I've already done in 1 and 2, just as an FYI. We are still at the Dacto in the Central Highlands, still at Dacto in the Central Highlands. In the previous scenarios, you had secured the Dacto 2 airfield, built a fire base, and defended against the Viet Cong attack. Well done. I defended it, but didn't build it. Friendly forces. A and B Company, 1st Battalion, 503rd are tasked to the mission. Engineer elements are located at Dacto 1 to assist with the construction. I don't think we have to worry about that because that's already done. Known Viet Cong mortar positions are in the mountains to the south of the fire base. Mortar positions expected to be protected by infantry. Okay. Your mission in this scenario will be transport B Company into the mountains south of Dacto using helicopters. This was the area that Viet Cong mortars were firing from during the last scenario. It will be essential to clear the area of Viet Cong. This will be a multi-phase operation. Phase 1, A Company initially to remain at Dacto 2 airfield to secure the airfield against any Viet Cong attack, while B Company will perform a combat assault into Landing Zone Alpha. After securing the landing zone, B Company will secure Hill 978. Phase 2, after securing Hill 978, B Company will advance to and clear LZ Bravo. A Company will be available once LZ Bravo is secured. Phase 3. B Company will advance north from LZ Bravo to Hill 1262, while A Company will advance to Hill 1338, and then west to the other Hill 1262. I'm not going to pronounce that, but you can see it there. Phase 4. After successfully capturing the northern hill of 1262, B Company will return to LZ Bravo and combat assault into LZ Charlie, where it will then assault Hill 1293. After securing the additional, whatever that word is, A Company will return to LZ Bravo and grab a lift back to Dacto 2. So it sounds like we're going to be jumping around with the helicopters, moving company to various landing zones, and securing some hilltops. You lose event points for indirect firing, ordering airstrikes on inhabited hexes. As with the previous scenarios, you want to try and avoid that. We're trying to keep the peace with the people. Admin. Supply levels are high at the beginning of the scenario, but expect them to taper off as the operation proceeds because we are consuming ammunition as we play through. Additional supply is not scheduled for this particular scenario. Command and control. Weather is expected to remain consistent during the course of the mission. Let's get started. Your B Company is placed around Dacto 2 airfield at hex 3724, ready to load into the helicopters and start your mission. The first thing you want to do is move your infantry platoons in hex 3823 to the helicopters in hex 3724. Select everything and press load to load them. Okay. So So let's turn on the map labels. So we were instructed to move these to here. So let's do that. Double click to select and move. Aha! Well done. You moved your infantry platoons from hex 3724 or to hex 3724 where the airstrip is. You will notice that the hex is a landing zone, which is identified by this LZ here in the corner, which has an LZ icon at the bottom right corner of the hex, which it does. This signifies a landing zone. When playing with historical landing zone option on, which it is by default, and I highly recommend it for all the scenarios because that is the default way they were designed, helicopters can only take off and land at these designated hexes. Note that the airfield has a number of these landing zone hexes, so you can take off and land your troop helicopters at any one of these landing zones. So yeah, you can see this one has a landing zone, this one has a landing zone, and this one has a landing zone. So there's, of the 5, there are 3 that we can land in. Let's talk about helicopters. There are 2 4 strength point helicopters in hex 3724 in there. Both of these are both UH-1Ds, aka Slicks, which will transport your troops. When looking at them in the unit list, you will notice on the right side a G9 in the green notation. This is the flight status, indicating the helicopter unit is currently on the ground, that's what the G means, and has 9 turns of fuel before it needs to refuel, hence the 9. At the top left, you will see a green fuel icon. As the turns go by, this will change to orange, reminding that you need to land and fuel. If that ever turns to red, that means you're about to be forced landed, unfortunately. Once the infantry platoons are loaded onto the helicopters, selecting the helicopters and infantry, and pressing Ctrl L or clicking the load button on the toolbar, you will want to take off and start flying. With the loaded helicopter selected, you can take off and press page up on the keyboard or by clicking the climb button on the toolbar. You should see the flight status change to N9, which means the helicopter is lifting off and is currently in Nap of the Earth flight zone. There are 4 flight zones in Campaign Series Vietnam. There's ground, Nap of the Earth, low, and high. Each has their advantages and disadvantages. The main thing to keep in mind is that the lower you fly, the more action points required to move from hex to hex. You can climb or descend from the ground level to the low level flight zone in the same hex, but you will need to move to the adjacent hex to ascend into the high flight zone level. Let's do that now. Let's move our loaded helicopters into 3624, which will be there. Don't forget to load all 3 infantry platoons from B Company into the available helicopters. You can read more about helicopters, flight zone, and refueling in section 3.5.3 of the manual. So, just to show you how to identify which organization these belong to, you can either press F2 or select Help and Unit Handbook, and it'll tell you here, this is 1st Platoon, it's the first one selected, of B Company, 1st Battalion, 503rd Air Mobile. And the other company, probably in here, is related to that, as we can tell by highlighting it. And even just looking at this leader, in Campaign Series Vietnam, the leaders are identifying which unit that it is organized under. So this leader is in command of A Company, 1st, 503rd. But you can confirm that, again, by going to F2 and identifying where it is. So it's A Company, 1st, 503rd. So these are the 2 infantry companies that we're going to be dealing with. First, we're dealing with B Company. Let's load them up. I am selecting them, moving on to the hex. I'm going to select the helicopter in question and load it. Now, we are going to press this button, the climb button. It has now gone from ground to Nap of the Earth. I'm going to do it again, and now it has gone into the low flight zone. I'm going to move both of these helicopters to where we were told, And great, you moved your helicopters into Hex 3624. Note that it cost you 3 action points to move at Nap of the Earth. Well, yes, we would know that, but we are in the low flight zone, so it only costs us 2. And that's the main difference between the flight zones for flight, is that in high it only costs you 1, in low it costs you 2 action points to go from hex to hex, and in Nap of the Earth, basically where you're flying at tree height level, it consumes 3 action points per hex. Let's climb another level, pressing page up on the keyboard, or by clicking the climb button on the toolbar. You should see your flight status change to L9, that's where we are now, meaning you are now in the low flight zone. To climb between flight zones costs you 10 action points, which is accurate, with the exception of climbing to the high flight zone. Disregard this. To climb between the low height zone and high flight zone will cost you 20 action points. But you gain the benefit of being able to move twice as far. To climb between flight zones costs you 10 action points per level, with the exception I just mentioned. Something to keep in mind when planning your operations. Move your helicopters directly south from 3624 to Hex 3625. From there to there. You can climb from ground to Nap of the Earth to low in the same hex, but you must move 1 hex in order to climb to high. Yes. So then we were instructed to move here. Great. Now we moved our helicopters toward LZ Alpha. It cost you 2 action points per hex in this flight zone, which I explained. If your objectives were further away, it would be wise to move up to the high flight zone. As they are close by, let's remain in the low flight zone and fly towards landing zone Alpha at Hex 3746 and Hex 3846. You will perform your first air mobile assault into LZ Alpha. To do so, you will want to move your helicopters at low or high level towards the landing zone. Leave them in the area for a few hexes away from the landing zone. Once you are close by, you will then use your escorting gunships to target the area around the landing zone in case there are Vietcong lurking. Firing at your target from 2 hexes away will have the best results. This will depend on the gunship. If it's a hog, then yeah, 2 hexes. If it's a snake, then 1 hex will be best. After engaging the gunships, move the slicks to the landing zone and then descend into the hex. Don't forget to have your helicopter gunships at Hex 3523 take off and escort your slicks. Okay, so let's grab our other, we don't need this other helicopter, but we can take off with this one, have them join the other helicopters. We'll scroll over, go grab our gunships, we'll take off, we'll leave them in the low level, and we'll head south. So let's go into a zoomed out view. We'll turn off the hex coordinates. We will turn on the map labels, and let's take a scroll down. So, aha, there's LZ Alpha right there. So we're going to eventually fly down to here, and this is where we're going to unload B Company, which is great. Let's zoom out, and let's start our helicopters on their way down. Going to select them all, leave them in low level flight zone, and head south. Excellent, your helicopters are on the right track towards LZ Alpha. Don't forget, you should start to descend your helicopters from 1 hex away from their intended landing zone if they're in the recommended flight zone. We have 11 action points left, so let's move a little closer, but not too close. And we'll bring our gunships down here. Your gunships are escorting your assault force. They will provide the necessary firepower in case there are Vietcong at LZ Alpha. It is recommended to send them in the lead towards the landing zone. Oh, too late now. But maybe when we get there, we'll do that. To get an eye on the area prior to arrival of your assault force. Hint, using good line of sight positions from the gunships can serve as spotters for your artillery batteries at the firebase at Dak To to soften up LZ Alpha before their arrival. Okay, so now my helicopters are all on the scene. we're going to move them a little bit closer. We're still a few hexes away, which is fine. I'm going to split them up a bit. Now, we don't have enough action points to fire, which is fine. And these are snakes, so if we look at their unit handbook, we'll see that they're most effective at 1 hex range. Not only that, the closer they are to the ground, the more likely, the more firepower that they'll have. The higher they are in between nap of the earth and low, they will have a reduction in their firepower if they're at low. If they're in high, they cannot fire. That's true of all helicopters. Okay, apparently we had some artillery at the fire base. We have a battery of 105 millimeters, and that is right. So let's go down and open up our dialogue. We have our battery there. We're just going to plot some artillery on that landing zone, and this will be part of how we're going to conduct a combat assault. Plot artillery, soften it up, bring in our gunships. Again, fire at these hexes or around, depending on where we feel threatened. Do you think there's going to be Viet Cong in these woods surrounding the landing zone, on the landing zone, whatever? We have to figure that out. We have to decide. Do some shooting, hopefully not get shot down, and then bring in our slicks. And there we go. Sorry, let me just turn that off. There we go. And let's end the turn. We'll call this Bootcamp 3 for obvious reasons. And end the turn. So far, so good. Hopefully your slicks are almost at landing zone Alpha. You will land at this landing zone, unload B company, and move the company uphill 978 to secure it. Don't forget, you will start descending your helicopters from 2 hexes away. Yeah, there's good reason for that, or not, depending, because you want to get there and get out as quickly as you can. You don't want to be drawing fire from all around you if possible. Don't forget, you will need to start descending. Yeah, okay, no problem. And then hint, remember unit cohesion. Once the 3 platoons of B company are on the ground, you want to keep the platoons within a kilometer of each other so they can mutually support one another in case of combat. So this is one of those things that you should be paying attention to. If your platoons get scattered too far, you will be penalized for that. Just as a heads up. The artillery is unavailable, but it is going to target our landing zone, which is great. 1 hit target, 1 did not. But maybe there's some Viet Cong in there. Who knows? Let's drop down. We're now flying tree height. We're getting a little closer, and we're going to do some shooting. We're going to shoot in those woods. We're going to shoot on the landing zone. And we will do the same with this one. Get a little closer, drop down, and fire. Fortunately, we can, even though there's no enemies there that we can see, we can still fire into those hexes. That makes our potential for causing disruptions significantly better. Now we're going to bring in our helicopters. Going to bring them down, a couple hexes away, drop down, come to the landing zone, get on the ground, unload, and get the helicopters out of there. And quickly, just like that. We don't want to have our helicopters on the ground. This is where you want to start your descent into LZ Alpha. If you climb to the high flight zone, you'll want to descend by using the page down hotkey or descend button on the toolbar. As a general rule, the closer you are to the ground, the more action points it'll cost you to fly, and more likely that you'll be hit by ground fire, which makes sense. You're on the right track towards LZ Alpha. You'll want to descend to nap of the earth in preparation for landing at LZ Alpha. Be careful not to overstack. When you settled on the landing zone, you'll need to leave space in the hex to unload your infantry. So before, I don't want to overstack there, so what I'll do is that these infantry platoons have enough action points to still move, so we're going to move them up the hill because this is our objective, 978. And with that moved, we can now bring in our helicopters, start the descent, made it to LZ Alpha, descend onto the ground, unload B Company platoons into the landing zone. Excellent. So as this is mentioning, you should have enough action points to land, disembark the infantry, and then take off again. If so, return the slicks back to the Dacto airfield. In a typical combat assault, you want to make sure that your helicopters are not on the ground during the opposing player's turn. They are very vulnerable to ground fire, to assault, to artillery strikes, the whole gambit. You do want to make sure that, as we did here, the helicopters were close enough that they could fly in, drop off their load, land, drop off the load, and get out in the same turn. Safety first, because the helicopters are going to be rare. You're going to have they're going to be finite. You're going to have so many to play with, and that's that. If you run out, then you're out. Well, we're going to overstack this X anyways. I don't think we're going to be taking any fire. There are some trenches there, but because we can see them, we can assume that they're probably empty. Let's bring our gunships a little closer for next turn. And let's go into a higher zoom level. Zoom level 7. And let's start our way back. There's 5 action points left, so they can move twice, have 1 left, and we'll just put them back on the airfield. Now that we've done that, hit save, press and turn. B Company is on the ground and has started to climb the slopes of Hill 978. Your slicks should be on the return trip to Dacto 2 airstrip to be refueled and ready for their next mission. Keep your gunships in the area in case you need their fire support. You also have your artillery battery on standby at the fire base. It may be wise to use the artillery to soften up the hill before you arrive there. And command report, there's nothing new to report, and it's our turn. First thing we'll do, since we're looking at them, let's take our helicopters. We made it back to the airstrip. Nice, well done. Leave your slicks at the airfield until they are needed again. This provides a good opportunity to resupply them. You can do so by moving the supply truck from hex 3824 to the same hex as your helicopters. They require 1 complete turn to resupply. Your supply trucks will be available next turn. In most cases, any supply or headquarter unit will resupply the helicopters. In that sense, that means refuel the helicopters. So, as we can see, I have pressed the descend button. The helicopters are now on the ground. They had 5 turns remaining of fuel. While they're on the ground, they will no longer burn fuel, which is great, as they shouldn't. Back down to our infantry B Company. Let's bring our gunships closer. They're still flying nap of the earth. We don't need to fire in there because we presume that there's nothing in there. Let's do a couple of shots at the hilltop just in case. Nothing. Let's pull them back. We're going to save these ones here for some opportunity fire. They will come a little closer. We'll take a couple of tunes, start our way up the hill, and spreading them out a little bit. Next turn, we'll secure that hill. Simple as that. Now, they said that right now the supply trucks are fixed. Next turn, they will be made available. We still have this helicopter here, but we don't need that yet. Okay, there we go. Sweet and simple. And the turn. Your slicks should have landed last turn, which prompted the release of the supply trucks on the airfield. You'll want to move your supply trucks to landing zones where your slicks have landed. This will start the refueling process. Next turn, the helicopters will be ready for operations with 50 action points remaining. So that's one thing with refueling. On On the next turn after they refuel, they only get 50 action points. But if they're still in the airfield the following turn, they get their full load of fuel, but 100 action points to start with. And just like that, we have our logistics company ready to go. And let's move them now. So we have the supply truck. What we'll do, note that this is still G5. We'll move these. Excellent. You moved your supply trucks to the same hex as your slicks to start the refueling process. You've gained 15 event points for following orders. Leave your slicks and the supply trucks in the same hex until the fuel gauge is green and the number of flights turns is 9. The number of flights can vary by scenario, as this is set by the scenario designer. The default is 9. And you'll find that in Campaign Series Vietnam, we've left that default as 9. That can change. You know, for example, if you were in a higher elevation area, you could change this to 7 or to 8 because, you know, it's more taxing on helicopters to operate in higher elevated areas. So, that also brought up that we gained some event points. So let's look at the victory dialogue. It said that we gained 15 event points for following instructions. This is essential for the Campaign Series Vietnam and how you're going to be gaining event points or points in general or victory. You need to follow the instructions. You need to complete the missions. If you complete the missions that as they're assigned out, and sometimes they may not be obvious, they'll be hinted at or suggested or something, but that's where you're going to gain your points. That's where you're going to get the level from a loss or a draw all the way up to a major victory. You need to complete the tasks. You need to complete the missions. It's not just a matter of capturing objectives. That's part of it, but far from all of it. All right, now they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Since this is released as well, we'll move this into this other one. We don't need to, but in preparation for the gunships to come back, etc., etc., we'll just get everyone ready. All right, we will secure the hilltop 978. Well done. You secured the objective at the top of the hill 978. I gained 25 event points for following instructions. Again, follow the instructions. Your next objective is to advance to LZ Bravo and wait for reinforcements. Keep your formation tight and advance cautiously. You can keep track of your current victory conditions by looking under Status Victory Dialogue. This dialogue shows you the current state of losses, event points gained, and held objective points, and overall victory points. So, as we saw just a moment ago, we had 15, now we have 40 because we gained an additional 25. So that is bringing us closer to not a major defeat. So we'll bring these guys up. We'll bring our helicopters closer, keeping them close. And we're supposed to go to LZ Bravo, which is just up here. It's not very far. We will have to do some bushwhacking, and hopefully we don't run into any VC. Yeah, simple as that. That was a painless opportunity. Perfect. And let's go. We hear some Viet Cong, and they're in front of us. Just like that. They are shooting us. They are in front of our position. There are 2 platoons, it looks like. B Company's on the ground proceeding up the hill. We've already taken it. You should be able to secure it this turn. Consolidate your forces at the top and wait for further instructions. Keep an eye on your fuel levels of your gunships because they are getting close to running out of fuel. You'll need to send them back to Dacto 2 to rearm and refuel. Nothing new to report. Okay, let's go to the mountain. We did run into some Viet Cong. Let's do some shooting. Now you'll notice that they're hidden, but if you flip the map by going display flip map, you can see that we can see them now. So they're on the other side of this hill, and that is a significant elevation change from 38 to 41. That's That's a 60-meter difference. So yeah, it is difficult to see them, but that's why we provide you the flipping of the map opportunity. So let's flip back. Let's go back up, select, start shooting. Now we don't know, again, if we're causing any damage or not. We're taking some fire, but we're in trenches, so we're okay. We're still going to shoot at them. Fortunately, these are A-class troops, which means that they will fire 3 times. B-class troops will fire twice, as will C-class. Oh, there's more in there. There's a whole full company there. Okay. Let's shoot once into here. And one more time into here. And then let's bring in our gunships, since we have gunships. We do have a couple of shots. Hopefully we're causing some casualties. Let's just pull them back a bit. Bring these guys over. Now, since they're snakes, as I mentioned before, we have to get close. We're in the map of the Earth. Yeah, there we go. We're pushing them back. So, hopefully we caused a bunch of casualties. We have half of our fuel left, so we can probably leave them here for 1 or 2 more turns. Let's go into the 3D mode. Turn off the elevation, zoom in, and see what happens. If you recall correctly, we were been attacking all these, and one retreated to this hex here. So let's see what happens. Oh, we can plot artillery too. Let's do that. I'm gonna select the artillery dialog, and in front of us we'll lay a couple of rounds. The VC didn't do anything, which is good for us. They're probably disrupted, didn't have an opportunity to do anything. Let's zoom in there. Let's draw some fire. Oh, what was that? We've managed to destroy part of the Vietcong company that was attacking. That's perfect. We didn't destroy the whole company yet, but we can start proceeding. Okay, perfect. So let's advance. Take our shots. Okay, so we've revealed both of these platoons. I will do another shot. And then let's bring in our gunships and see if we can have some effective fire. Let's bring in this one and do the same thing. That has taken a beating. Let's try and assault that particular unit. Yeah, so it had been reduced significantly from the gunships. We were in a position to take them out, which is great. So we had a successful assault. Our gunships really saved the day in that case. We'll keep them around for one more turn before we send them back to the airfield. Let's go take a look at our helicopters on the ground. So last turn we didn't check on them, but they would have been ground and 9, but with 50 action points. And because it's been another turn, they now have full action points. This one here is the same. It didn't change because we didn't fly it. Our artillery is out of ammo, so that's it for this turn. Let's zoom out. Scroll down to this and see if anything happens. And the turn. bushwhacking is always a challenge. Keep on track to LZ Bravo. Even worse when you're engaged with Viet Cong. Use your gunships and artillery to support to destroy the Viet Cong. Firing from high ground gives you advantages. Always try to stay above your enemy when fighting in the mountains. We do now get a warning. These warnings will start 3 turns when you only have 3 turns remaining of fuel. If you see these, I would highly recommend starting your return trip, depending on how far your resupply point is. Let's just move. Let's bring our infantry over. I'm being shot at by something, but I don't see what. There's some sort of light arms in there that I don't see. Maybe it's an RPG or something. Our gunships are trying to take out this platoon for it. Oh, there we go. So, there was another platoon down there, but let's just ignore it and send our units back. So I'm going to jump up to the high flight, or not high flight zone, but the low flight zone. Ah, we found it. There's a freaking RPG hiding in there. Okay. Let's start shooting at it. So this is a good opportunity to use the flipping of the map. We can see that RPG hiding down slope. Let's start shooting at it. Do it again. And we killed it. Okay, so our flank is secure now. Let's rotate the map again and get into a higher zone. Move our helicopters towards the base so that they can refuel. So I can move down 1 level. So right now he's above the landing zone, flying nap of the earth, but I ran out of action points, so I can't land this turn. But both of them will be able to land next turn, and we should be okay. Down here, we'll have to continue our chug through the mountains to go to landing zones, which are here. So a few hexes. It'll take a few turns to get there. That mortar that was harassing us before is targeting our infantry. Probably because they had a spotter there before. Your gunships are still flying and providing support for B Company. You might need to send them back to Dacto 2 to rearm and refuel. If the fuel gauge is orange, it is imperative that you send the gunships back this turn. Landing in a landing zone at the airstrip and then moving a supply truck into the same hex will start the refueling and rearming process. Hint, it'll take a turn to rearm and refuel, where both helicopters and supply units need to be undisrupted. So this is another warning. Hey, you're getting really low on fuel. Time to head back. So 1 is there already. We are going to land it. And notice it is orange and there's only 2 turns left. But if we land, it takes away the last turn. So hence why you need to start heading back at 3. If by chance you do happen to forget about the helicopter or something like that, and it force lands itself into a hex somewhere else that you don't have access to, then you have lost that helicopter for the scenario. In some cases, you will be able to access it with a supply truck or a headquarters and refuel it at least, and then you'll be able to take off again. You do have to be careful. So let's bring them both back and let's land them both. So now both my gunships are on the tarmac, going to be refueled, and we'll leave them there while we continue our advance towards LZ Bravo. Unfortunately, double timing doesn't help because of the nature of the terrain. It is very steep slopes. I'm only going to be able to move 1 hex per turn. Different if I was going down. I can move 2 hexes sideways or down if I double time, but going up, it's a slog. It is what it is. Nothing new to report. Turn 9. Let's go back and continue. So we're almost at LZ Bravo, which is great. Save. And the turn. Oh, wait. Before we do that, I'll show you that the helicopters. So yeah, they've landed. Last turn, they're back up to fully fueled, but they're only at 50 action points. Next turn, they'll have their full 100. You can still take off now if you wanted to, and expend those action points to start your flight back. I don't need to right now because I'm not threatened by anything at the moment. The landing zone seems to be pretty quiet. We're going to plot some artillery in there, just like this. 1 and 1. And yeah, that's it. That's all we're going to do. And the turn, save and turn. And seems the weather has cleared up to provide you some air support if you need it. Oh, that's good. Airstrikes are finite, so use them sparingly. Perfect. I have 1 artillery unit unavailable. And here it comes, hitting that landing zone. All is quiet. That's perfect. Let's get in there. Aha! Your company made it to LZ Bravo. You gained 10 more action points. Well done. Consolidate your forces and await the arrival of A company, which should be made available next turn. In some cases, it may be wise to dig in or set IEDs while you wait, which is actually a good idea. So I didn't have the opportunity to do so last game, so I will take the opportunity to do so this turn. Or this game. I will set some IEDs just so you can see the process. I was attacked quite quickly in boot camp number 2. I didn't have the opportunity to do so. Yeah, so far, and this is going quite smoothly. We're collecting event points, taking us closer to victory. We are up to 50 now. Plus, we gained some kills for taking out that Viet Cong company, which is great. And let's end the turn. A company has been released. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start getting A company to the airfield. We have a 2 strength point helicopter. We'll use the leader for him. Get him loaded. We'll get our infantry platoon loaded into the helicopters. Same with this one. And this one. I'm not going to take off yet. I will wait until next turn and then start A company's journey to where it needs to go. Let's go zoom out. Find LZ Bravo. There it is. So, just so you can see, I'm going to set an IED here. Not an ideal place for it. I would do it outside of the perimeter. But just so you can see, I have the unit selected. It has full action points. It's not disrupted. And you go Units, Lay Minefield or IED, or press Control M. So it attempted to do it. It failed at it. There's a 50% chance that it will do it. But it didn't this time. That's fine. We'll bring up the rest of our infantry and get them ready for their next mission. All right. So, just a refresher, we have our B company at LZ Bravo. We have A company in helicopters. Now we're just waiting for the mission. We also have our gunships, which we'll bring with A company in case we need them. Let's end the turn and go. So that mortar somewhere down here, keep that in mind. Oh, no effect. That was fortunate. So far, so good. As you have seen, you are rewarded for following orders displayed when you accomplish tasks. It is important to read them, as they will give you clues on how to win a scenario. Remember, this war is not always about seizing objectives. And we have one airstrike available. That's perfect. Let's go down to LZ Bravo. Wherever LZ Bravo is, there it is. Let's spread our infantry units out. Again, I'm going to just try and set an IED here for you. Set an IED. There we go. So, in this case, it did set up an IED for us. We expended all of our action points. It is now in low on ammo status, but it says an IE level 1. So, basically, it set up some claymores on this landing zone, that's handy. That's great. That is good for any scenario, really. If you're on the defensive and you have the opportunity to set some, then do so. There's no limit that the amount of IEDs infantry unit can set, that's handy for defensive purposes. In most scenarios, you're probably not going to be able to set more than a few, but they could be handy in larger scenarios like the A Weekend series. Okay. Let's take a look at our message log. Okay. Consolidate your forces and await the arrival of A Company, which should be made available. Okay, so they're made available. Let's bring them to LZ Bravo. We're going to grab the helicopters, jump up, and grab the leader. Jump up a couple of flight zones into low. Since we're going to do this quickly, let's go up into the high flight zone. So we're going to go, since we all moved one, we can go up one more. Now we're in the high flight zone, and we should get there quite smoothly. Perfect. And we still have enough to do some more. Again, it is good practice to get into to not have your helicopters on the ground. So I'm going to go down to the nap of the Earth flight zone and split these up a little bit in case I get mortared again, and get ready to land next turn. Land, get out, head back. That's the plan. That's what we're going to do. I think that's it. We don't need to plot artillery or anything like that. We're saving our gunships for when we need them. No mortars this time. That's good. Okay. Let's move our B Company out of the way. Bring in our helicopters. Land. Unload. Land. Unload. A Company made it to LC Bravo. Well done. Your new orders are to have A Company secure Hill 1338 south of LZ Bravo, while B Company is to secure Hill 260 or 1262 north of LZ Bravo. There's 1262. There's 1338. You should have enough action points to land, disembark the infantry, and take off again. Definitely. Get in the habit of doing that. It'll save you helicopter losses. Landing, disembarking, getting off the ground, and getting out of harm's way. Do the same with the other helicopters, and we'll put them with the other ones. Go into a higher zoom level, make sure everything is selected, which they are, and start their way back. So we'll move those after. Now let's go to B Company. Is supposed to go to this hill. Okay. Oh, you stumbled across some tunnels. Unfortunately, your infantry platoons cannot enter the tunnel, but a new type will arrive next turn to assist. It is called a tunnel rat. These units are some of the few units, apart from the VC, etc., that can enter tunnels. You can find additional information about a unit and their capabilities by selecting the unit and pressing F2. Okay, so you'll see here that there are tunnels in this particular hex. And as the dialogue mentioned, we cannot enter those tunnels, so something will be provided to us, a tunnel rat, that will allow us to do so. So B Company is still going to go up towards that objective. A Company will head south. And yeah, that's the plan. That's it. We could plot some artillery. Let's do that. Plot some artillery on hill 1338. We're almost at hill 1262. So far we haven't taken any shots. Down here we haven't taken any shots yet. So far we're pretty safe. Our helicopters, we don't have enough action points to continue the flight, so let's just wait till next turn. Reinforcements have arrived. Okay. Artillery is hitting the top of the hill, as we asked. Let's zoom in. Now, we did get reinforcements. Let's check them out. Good. Your tunnel rat unit has arrived on scene and is ready to proceed into the tunnels. These units have the special ability of entering tunnels. You can make this happen by being in the same hex as a tunnel, selecting the unit, and then pressing the underground button in the toolbar, or by pressing the Alt-U hotkey. Tunnel rats are rare units, so don't waste them. Alright, so you'll see we have our new unit. It is a tunnel rat unit, and that is what we will use to go into the tunnels. Reinforcements come on with no action points. That is by design, of course. And let's continue and secure that hill. Well done. You have secured the objective on top of hill 1262. You've gained 25 event points for following instructions. Your next objective is to return to LZ Bravo and use your slicks to air assault into LZ Charlie with B Company. After LZ Charlie is secured, B Company will advance to secure Nok Kon Kring, also known as Hill 1294. Hopefully your helicopters have been resupplied and are ready for the new air assault mission. No, but we will get there next turn. So that being the case, let's bring our B Company back. Get it ready to be picked up. Let's bring A Company towards its objective of securing Hill 1338. So that's what we have done there. Let's move our slicks back to be resupplied. And land. Next turn, we will take off again, because by that time, B Company should be available, and they have to fly into LZ, from LZ Bravo to LZ Charlie to secure this hill. Alright, we're on a roll so far. So far, so good. Let's end the turn. That mortar is still firing at us. No effect, and it missed. Hopefully at this point you are understanding how helicopters function in the game and how they can benefit operations on the ground and in difficult terrain. The main things to remember are 1. Landing zones, 2. Resupply options, 3. Appropriate flight zones, and 4. Best methods for air assaults. For additional background on air assault tactics of the Vietnam War, it is recommended that you read Vietnam Air Mobile Warfare Tactics by Gordon L. Rotman, published by Osprey Publishing. Well done. A Company made it to Hill 1338. You've gained 25 more additional event points for following orders. You can select a platoon and press F2 to see the unit information and the company it belongs to. Yeah, so let's do that just so you can see again as a reminder. So A Company will select one of the platoons. That should be first platoon because it has the radio. And we'll press F2. And here, yeah, first platoon, A Company, 1st Battalion, 503rd. This tells you all the information that you need to know about it, including how far it shoots, the weapons that it typically is carrying. Obviously, the attack value is a combination of these based on a formula. And its hard attack value, which is the red, the soft attack value, which is the blue, and the distance. So out to 3 hexes, you're not going to be effective against much of anything. Let's secure that top location, which we did. Well done. You secured the objective at the top of the hill, 1338. You've gained 25 event points for following instructions. A company's next objective is to advance to there, which is here, also known as Hill. I keep on saying hell. That's hilarious. Hill 1262, and clear the area. So we're going to have to take A company, go along this saddle, and take out this hill. Keep your formation tight and advance cautiously, as there are still Viet Cong in the area. Hint: in future scenarios, you may be required to hold a position for longer than one turn in order to secure event points. Holding the objectives or series of objectives for 2 or 3 turns will usually suffice. So yeah, in other scenarios, let's take a look at these. You may be required to hold all 4 of these objectives for 4 turns before you gain your points. Or you're going to be required to hold both of these to 1262 hills for 3 turns to gain your points. That prevents the last-minute scramble to capture the objectives, for example, if that's what the mission is about. But again, it's not always about the objectives. You have to follow the instructions and complete the missions that are given to you. Okay, so we've secured that hill with A company. Let's start moving towards Hill 1262. Let's move B company towards the landing zone. And now, with our tunnel rat, let's go in. Let's go in down below. We do that, go into the combat menu, and press the underground button. So, you'll notice that here it shows you as a U. This means that this unit is underground now. So it is at the tunnel level. It can move in any direction as long as there's a tunnel there. If you try and move into a direction that there is no tunnel, you won't be able to move. It'll give you a warning down below. The unit becomes fatigued instantly by being underground, so it costs you more action points, etc. to be underground and operate. Let's go grab our helicopters. B company, we only need these slicks. Let's ascend. I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to get the helicopters ready to go. So that way, by the time that other platoon comes down into the landing zone, we should be able to collect everyone and get them on their way to LZ Charlie, which is their next mission. Let's bring our gunships back, just in case. They have full fuel and full action points. They should be able to make it all the way down to Alpha Company, which they can. Perfect. So you'll see our gunships are at Alpha Company. Let's get them closer. Not too close though, because that mortar is still flying around. So let's, or not flying, but attacking around. So let's get them close, but not too close. B Company's waiting. Our tunnel rats are in the tunnels around Hill 1262. Hopefully we're going to find something. Let's see. And the turn. There's Viet Cong moving around. We didn't see anyone. We're okay. And let's start our meander down the hill. I'm going to double time so I can move a couple hexes since I'm moving down slope, which you can quickly identify by the elevation. We're going from 48 to 47 to 45. There's the saddle that we're going to be going to towards Hill 1262. And we'll move this guy down. Oh, we've run into some Viet Cong. We took some fire from somewhere. I didn't quite see where that was. Let's bring down this platoon, a couple of hexes. Again, moving down through jungles, being double timed, I can move 2 hexes. Uphill, regardless, it's going to be 1 hex. Let's take a couple of shots. Let's go down to low. I'm going to stand off just because I don't know what's in there from a couple hexes away. Oh, because I'm flying too low. Ha ha ha. Let's go back up and then do some shooting. I was flying too low. I was below that elevation, so I couldn't shoot at it. Again, I would like to be closer and flying lower, but I'm worried about what's in there. So let's just do some shooting from a distance. Maybe draw some fire, hopefully not. Okay, let's pull back with our helicopters. Move our B company down into the landing zone. Grab our other slicks. Get them on the ground. I'm doing so by selecting them. Notice that they're in low level. Dropping them down twice onto the ground and loading. And the same for these ones. On the ground. I won't be able to load this one because it doesn't have enough action points, but I can load that one. So next turn, I'll be able to load everyone, finish loading everyone, and then head down to landing zone Charlie. Let's turn off those elevations. We already know what they are. Now, our tunnel rat. Let's go see if we can find anything. Okay, so I'm trying to right click on this hex. There's nothing there. It says I cannot move in there. That means there's no tunnels. Same for that one. Oh, there's a tunnel in there. We were able to move from that tunnel to the tunnel that is here. We didn't run into anything, so that's always good. And let's plot our artillery on top of the hill. We do have an we have 3 airstrikes. So the airstrike, again, this is our pool of aircraft that we have available for the scenario, but currently of that pool, we only have 3 airstrikes available. I can choose any 3 of those that I want when these are available, but right now I only have 3. So I'm just going to hang off until I actually need them. So let's end the turn. We hear the Viet Cong, but we don't see them. Okay, let's continue moving our infantry closer to Hill 1262. Hopefully we don't take... you stumbled across some more tunnels. As you know, your infantry platoon cannot enter the tunnel, so a tunnel rat unit will be provided next turn. Secure the hill while you wait for their arrival. You can find additional information. Yes, of course. We saw fire from there. Don't know what it is. Some sort of light fire. Let's fire into it. Again, we're firing blind because we can't see anything there. Let's bring our other platoon in and do some more firing. So whatever that was shot at us twice. Let's bring our gunships closer. We are taking a risk because we don't know what's there and if they can shoot us down or not. Okay, I don't think we had any effect, so let's pull back, wait for next turn. This company is now fully loaded on the helicopters. Let's get up in the sky and start our way down towards LZ Charlie. Again, using the ascend button, going up to the low flight zone and bringing them closer down to LZ Charlie. I don't know what is here. We're gonna plot some artillery in there just to be safe. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then next turn we should be able to have enough again to get in and get out after we've unloaded our troops. This tunnel rat still has action points for this turn, so let's continue searching. So again, can't go there because it says it cannot move through the existing terrain. Ah, look at that. Unknown assault odds, enhanced fog of war. So we're gonna assault that. Well done. We've successfully found a hidden supply cache. In addition to the points you gained from catching the supply cache, you've gained an additional 25 event points. Make sure you check all the tunnels to see if the tunnel system is clear. Once you have cleared the tunnel, send the tunnel rat back to the surface using the page up on the keyboard. Oh, that's perfect. So, we found supplies and destroyed it, which is perfect. We don't have any... Oh, we can... Oh, look, we were able to move into this. That's good. So we know that there's tunnels here. We haven't checked those tunnels yet. I am assuming there's tunnels there, so we'll continue all the way around. We did... No, didn't get reinforcements yet. Next turn. Okay, there we go. It seems that you have everything under control. At this point, A company should be ready to secure Hill 1262, which we are doing so. And then head back to Dacto, while B company is attempting to seize the last objective. As the turns are ticking by, it is essential to complete the assigned missions before the last turn. Oh, we're already 18 turns are... Wow, that just flew right by. That's crazy. Ooh. Artillery. Artillery's hammering it. Alright, so let's just land in there. Start our B company. Oh, B company arrived at LZ Charlie. You received 25 event points for following orders. Another fight to the top of the hill, but you're on the lookout for Viet Cong. They are still operating in the area. Yeah, that's true, eh? So, on the ground, unload, off the ground, and out. Same with these ones. Bring them close. On the ground, unload, get the helicopters out of there. So we are going to send our helicopters back for refueling. There are Viet Cong down here. Let's send one infantry platoon up. We've secured Hill 1262, gained another 25 event points. A company's next order is to return to LZ Bravo. Use your slicks to return to Dacto 2. It'll take them a few turns to get back. We have enough time to fly these back, refuel, and come back. In the meantime, we'll use our gunships to take out these Viet Cong. And our infantry. Let's get the high ground. Fortunately, we're not taking too many losses. Which, if anyone's been following along, that seems to be a rare thing for me. But that's good. So let's start these guys heading back. We know that they retreated in here. Let's use our gunships to do a couple of shots. We can't see them, but never know, right? And let's pull the gunships back. Let's bring one gunship over here to LZ Charlie, where B company is. I think we're fine there for now. These guys, they've secured 1262. They're going to head back to LZ Bravo. And I think we have our reinforcements now. Yeah. Good. Your second tunnel rat has arrived on scene and is ready to proceed into the tunnels. These units have the special ability of entering tunnels. Yes, we discovered that, and we found stuff, so that's good. So we have two. This one here still has full action points. Let's try and move her. Oh, we found something else. Unknown assault odds, enhanced fog of war. Okay, let's try and assault that. Excellent. We have no idea what that was, but we succeeded in doing something. It did disrupt us, though. We'll see how that goes. How long it takes us to undisrupt. Well, we will do the same process with this particular tunnel rat. We'll get it underground and start meandering around. See if we can find something else. Zoom out. Everything is moved. We can start moving our infantry platoons up the hill. Let's do that. We'll try and flank it. We don't know what's in there. We still have to try and hunt down that mortar. But so far, so good. There's Vietcong moving around. We do have 5 airstrikes remaining. There's those Vietcong. Let's move up, keep them on our side, and shoot at them from above. That eliminated them. Amen to that. That's good. Let's double time these platoons, get them with the rest of the company, and we'll drop this guy down underground. Again, combat, ground, underground, and there we go. He's now underground. Next turn he'll be able to move. This is still disrupted, unfortunately. But we have cleared this, so that's it. There's nothing else there. That's perfect. Let's send this gunship back. We don't need it any longer. Oh, we lost a victory point. Do you see that? What? Those buggers. Huh. Okay, let's send him back to the airfield. Get him on the ground. So by doing this, he'll be refueled next turn, and we'll be able to have a gunship aloft at all times once this is complete. We're going to bring in our other transports, get them on the ground, our slicks. Next turn they'll be ready to go, and they'll be able to pick up a company to take them back to Dacto 2, because that is the mission. B Company, on the other hand, is going to climb up the mountain. We have our gunships here, still available. We are super close, ready for action. Before we go to LZ Bravo, we will take these platoons and go take that back, because we can. And we're off. Oh, those Vietcong buggers. Okay, let's continue going around just in case. This is gonna go around nothing. Let's split up this infantry company. Yep, we found... Oh, there's a couple of platoons there. They went in behind us, the buggers. We didn't even see them. So let's plot our artillery there. So hopefully next turn... Oh, look at that. There's a machine gun there, as well as a rifle platoon. Buggers. B Company, that's ready to assault the hill. So let's do that. Get up there. Let's start securing our flanks. Get our helicopter close. No, let's not. Let's send our helicopter back because it's almost out of fuel. We don't want to be in a position where we cannot have that fire support when we need it the most. It's on the ground. It will be starting up. Let's get this guy up and flying back. We need him. We have all of our helicopters. A Company isn't ready yet, so let's leave them for one more turn, and then everyone will be at 100 action points. They can move the furthest if that's the case. I think that's all we're going to do. We're going to secure this next turn and head back to LZ Bravo. Or we're going to be attacked by more Vietcong. So, more Vietcong coming from the south. Looks like machine guns and another rifle platoon. Our artillery is hitting the right target. That's good. Except that time. Okay. Oh, there's 2 platoons. We've spotted 2 platoons there. So our tunnel rat, going around this other hill 1262, has found something. Let's see if we can assault it. We tried, but we failed. So we will try again next turn. In the meantime, let's bring our gunships over here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let's bring this guy up. Ooh, lots of fire. Lots of fire. Let's do a shot. Let's do a shot. Heavy firing. Heavy firing indeed. And keep targeting. Okay, now that we've expended a lot of their opportunity fire, let's drop our gunship down, bring it up close, see if we can do some damage on something in there. How about that machine gun? That's a threat. We eliminated it. Perfect. That is what we want to see. We'll pull out our gunship, wait for next turn to do the same damage again, if possible. Yeah, I know there's nothing around that area anymore, but we are being attacked in the south, which is not good. Let's bring this company down. So far, we're not taking too many losses, which is good. We'll bring this company up on the top of the hill. That gives us a nice line, and let's just start laying some 5.56 into these guys. Again, we can shoot 3 times because we're A quality troops. We'll save that guy's opportunity fire. And we are going to call it an airstrike. What do we want to use here? Bombs. 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 How about some bombs then? Let's use a Skyhawk, because that's cool. Alright. Let's do another one. No, let's hang on. Hang on. Don't waste the air power until we need it, right? We can use it there, though. They're not going anywhere. So let's select our close air support dialogue. We'll select this one here. It has bombs. Put it on top of the hill. Hopefully that'll have an effect next turn. Let's see what happens. Zoom out. And end turn. We're at turn 21 already. Okay, so we are engaging the Viet Cong in the south. We've been retreated. I kind of thought we should have plotted another airstrike there. Oh, they're all around us. Oh, shoot. So they've done a line as well. We need our gunship down here. Our airstrike. Haha, whatever it did, it might have killed something in there, so that's good. Thank you for the Skyhawks. Not sure what happened up there. This is more of a threat than up there, so let's bring our gunship down here. Let's go up 1 level, bring it down closer. Let's swing around, drop down. Not assault, sorry, that's silly. Let's pick on the machine gun again. We don't know if we caused any damage, but let's pull back, swap out with the infantry, and do some firing. Having them retreat is fantastic. That gives us one more turn on the hill. And we eliminated that. Let's shoot into there. We know there's something in there. We just don't know what it is. Let's bring in our other infantry platoon, trying to secure this. We will plot in our airstrike right in there. We have 3 according to the air power. We can use 3 of these. We're only going to use 1. This is another Skyhawk with bombs. So let's plot it here. So next turn, if they come in here or are still in there, we'll be able to do some damage. Up here, what about our other gunship? Is it ready to go? So it is ready to go. We'll bring it down. We are in the low flight zone. I'm now going to boost it up to the high flight zone, as you can see. Bring it on down to here. Take a look. Maybe drop down. Get a little closer. Now, we've expended all of our action points for the most part. I can't do any firing, so we have to wait. In the meantime, we'll use some direct fire against these guys. Exchanging fire. Again, we don't know what it's like. But we are getting a lot of shots in because we do have that extra shot. Okay, let's leave 1 for opportunity fire. Why not? This tunnel rat will keep going. Oh, wait, there's still something there. Let's assault it again. We have successfully destroyed a hidden Matillion headquarters. We gained 75 event points for doing so. If the tunnels have all been secured, you are to focus on capturing the hilltop objectives. Once you have cleared the tunnels, the tunnel rat back to the surface, and you by using page up, hotkey, or the climb, the toolbar, and it'll bring them. Oh, it'd be wise to fly them back to DAC 2. Okay, we can do that too. So that was a nice little find. Nothing over there. There's still a couple of places around this hill that we'll try and get to. Otherwise, we're doing all right. So we can send these guys back to Dacto. Our A helicopters are still not ready to come because they're not finished taking this hill back. B company is doing what they can. Do we have artillery? Yes. So let's hit this hill again. 1338. Save and. So we're being attacked here in the south still. They are moving up again. We will do our best to destroy them. Hopefully our airstrike will hit them. We'll see. No, no airstrike this time. Okay, let's hit them. What's down here? There's 2 platoons. Let's deal with these first. They retreated. Perfect. We're advancing, keeping our line close together. And let's take on these Viet Cong. We have expended all of our shots. Let's use our gunship. Top of the hill. Shooting down at them. Should get us a couple of shots at least. Which it does. We don't know if there was any damage done. But at least we're in a good position and we have an airstrike hopefully coming in. Up here. Let's use our gunship first. We're standing off because they had full shots. Alright, let's try an assault and see if we can get in there. Which we could not. That's fine. But we will plot our artillery down there. No, we won't. Do we have airstrikes? We have 4 airstrikes. So let's let's grab a couple. Let's grab the other Skyhawks and plot them on that hex. Okay. Tunnel rats, they're disrupted. They can't move towards the enemy, but we can take them and put them back up on the ground. So now you'll see that you went away. They're on the ground level now. Oh, we found something else with this tunnel rat. Nice! Let's assault that. We've captured another hidden supply cache. We gained another 25 points. Perfect. How great is that? I am happy. I'm a happy man. And now we've secured that whole entire hills. So there we go. We're done. That's it. That's all we can do. Let's end the turn. So we're being... Oh, we found the mortar. Haha, look at that. Airstrike coming in. Do some damage. Okay, that's perfect. We'd eliminated one. Our other airstrike is coming in. I don't know what happened. Oh, it's too bad. Unknown effect. Oh, they both came. So we don't know what happened, but we are hopeful. Let's try and assault again. And let's do some shooting. That's fine. Let's bring our other gunship around. Hit this. Do some shooting. Ah, perfect. We will assault that mortar position. Okay, we didn't assault it. Let's try it again. The direct fire. You found and destroyed the 120mm mortars that have been harassing the fire base in your recent movements in the bush. I've earned 50 event points for destroying the mortars. Oh, that's perfect. In other scenarios, tracking down Viet Cong heavy weapons will be important and usually give you extra event points, as is the case here. That is fantastic. We did an awesome job. Let's fly this gunship up. That area is secure. We're happy with that. We need to deal with this right now. Let's try and assault into here. I don't think we're going to get it this turn, but that's fine. No. We did cause some casualties, though, and it looks like we eliminated one, so we should be able to get in there next turn. After that, we only have 6 turns left to get our A company back to where it needs to go. So, in preparation for that, let's grab our helicopters, get them up in the sky. Low level, we'll just bring them closer to the landing zone Bravo, split them up, get them towards where they need to be, and since we destroyed the mortar, there's no longer any more threats except for this platoon. That platoon's in a good position. I don't think it's going anywhere. We can land on the ground. That's what we're going to do, and they're going to be sitting there waiting for A company to finish what it needs to do in order to return back to the base. Okay. The turn. 3 airstrikes remaining. That's fine. Let's use our gunships. I can't see now. So we're unloading all of our weapons onto this platoon in the hopes of destroying it. After a successful assault. Now let's try that assault. and we were successful. Now, next turn, we'll send them towards the helicopters, A Company, which is this one here, where we are, and get them back to the base. That was their final objective, if I recall correctly. Let's look at the status. The briefing. Was it in the briefing? Yes, exactly. So after securing that hill 1262, A Company will return to LZ Bravo and grab a lift back to Dacto 2. So yeah, head there, get on the slicks, head back to the airfield. That's the final mission. We're done. Let's do that. We have airstrikes. There's nothing around us. We're in happy places right now. Really happy places. Let's double time. We're gonna run towards those trucks or helicopters. Do the same with these ones. Make sure we're organized properly. Yeah, we have the 2 for the commander. Our gunships here on station, ready for bad things to happen in case it does. Zoom out. Let's consolidate our B Company. B Company was supposed to be up there. That's what they're doing. And the turn. 3 airstrikes remaining. 1 unit low on ammo. One of my gunships is low on fuel. 3 turns left. Which one is it? Oh, it's that one. It's really low on fuel. It only has 2 left. Back to the airfield and on the ground. Boom, on the ground. And we, by the skin of our teeth, 1 left. Okay, we can now move into the landing zone. Load up. Load up. Get off the ground with both. Get into high flight zone. Start the trip back. Same with these ones. Move 1 up. High flight zone on the way back. We don't need this gunship down here. Let's send that back. Get on the ground. Bada boom. I think that's it. We're almost done. Save. End the turn. Get our helicopters on the ground. A Company has returned to Dacto. You received 50 event points for correctly following orders. Now it's time for A Company to get showered and have some chow and prepare for tomorrow's missions. Hint, return A Company to the firebase. Well, that's a pretty obvious hint there, so let's do that. Unload to the firebase. And let's do the same thing. Let's get these guys off the ground. Move them a hex on the ground. Bring in our other helicopters. On the ground. Unload. Oh, sorry, on the ground. Unload. And let's put them in the firebase. I think that's it for that turn. Perfect. Let's spread these guys out. In case we have to. End the turn. That's it. This is that. We're done. Just like that. End the turn. Time limit is reached. And we've secured a definite major victory. Perfect. Makes me happy to hear that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was useful. Do post any comments or questions down below, or head over to the Matrix Games forum where we can answer any additional questions. Thank you so much. Take care, smile always, and see you next time.